And looking at Bitcoin on the monthly to start, like I like to do. Let's see. Um, I feel like I say this a lot. The TD sequential is still pointing down. This is not a turnaround. The MACD on the month is looking bad. The RSI is low. I'm looking at this little green line right here. This is not one that I did. And 27 is still looking very, very possible. Very, very possible, especially if this strings out a little bit. Yeah, not a lot to see. The week, however, it appears as if we have support at 36 at least. At least. And that is the 100 TEMA. That's a fairly good place to get support. Now, that still means that we need to get up to some of these numbers. I got some bars here that we got to break. 44.5K is the first hurdle. RSI looks better. Down to the day. Look at the MACD. Nope, that doesn't look good. That looks sideways. So, yeah, that could go either way. That's the bad thing. So the month is telling me to expect some more downside, and the daily is telling me not to expect much at all. Yeah. So this could begin to be something if I had a third point, but I don't. Don't really have a third point. And every time I believe in any kind of a double bottom, I get burned really bad. So, if anything, right, this is one of the more appropriate sideways channels that I could draw. So that ends up being, yeah, 44.7 to 34. Let's go to ETH. Now, what jumps out on ETH is that 3 lines? I'll stick with the 3 lines on the 4 hour. We'll change the color to red, make it dotted. So patterns, candlestick patterns, back to candlestick patterns, back to these wedge shapes and stuff like this. If it's entering into the wedge going down, it's probably going to come out of the wedge going down. That's I hope that made some sense. Oh, how uncomfortable. My camera is in the wrong corner. Okay. So the wedge isn't even a good thing. I mean, it could be. You never know. We can extend it. And see what happens in the future. See what that looks like on the day. Yeah, so Ethereum is also on the day it's snaking in the middle. That is that is phenomenally good though at this point in time. And if Ethereum goes up to, let's say, 2,900, Ethereum goes up to about 2,900, then we could see a reversal. Otherwise, yeah, I'm expecting it to go down. BNB on the day is kind of the same thing. As a matter of fact, my Fibonacci's backwards here. I'm looking to see if this starts following the downward pattern, because if we take the fib from here and we go down, it's all the way down to there. But if we do something reasonable, because I think this is an anomaly, but if we do something that I think would be more reasonable, we end up at the magic 0.618 number, right? Which would tell us if we're in a downward trend that we need to sell up here. Does that make sense? So this right here doesn't make sense. I hope that makes sense. That if we're in a downward trend, that's our bottom there. We can expect BNB to go up to $400. Well, okay, let's say 395 to $400 and then expect it to drop. So at that point, right about when it's going to meet the the 50 TEMA, right? Which the last 2, 3 times it touched it, it rejected. 4 times, let's call it. 5 times, let's call it. The last 5 times on the daily scale that it touched the TEMA, it rejected. So 6 times the charm? We'll have to see. This is why I just can't get excited and say that, oh yeah, the charts are telling me that it's going to turn around, because the charts are obviously telling me to expect more downside. So BNB, I'm expecting to buy in there. 325, somewhere around 325 for BNB. That's my target. And then Cake, is even more dismal. I'm expecting the cake fans aren't going to like me. I have cake. It's auto compounding. It's it's going to be there for a very long time. Trust me. But gosh, I would like to see cake at. I mean, what I'd like to see it at is at like $2.50. If it was at $2.50, I'd start selling stuff on eBay to buy cake at $2.50. Let me put it that way. I probably would have to, but it'd be okay. I got a room full of stuff that I piles in this one room, all kinds of electronic stuff. Um, but yeah. Cake at the bare minimum. Yeah, bare minimum. I wouldn't even think about buying into cake right now. Look at that on the 4 hour. That's telling you right there, don't buy. That's telling you that, well, shucks, right? Go back to the day. If you're going to short the market, and I don't suggest you short the market or use leverage, but if you're going to short the market 1 or 2 days, once it on BTC on the day, once it goes back up to somewhere between here, shorting that market might not be a bad idea. Yeah. So there's good news, though. There is some good news. Um, this doesn't seem to be normal. This doesn't seem to be 2017 at all. This seems to be a completely different animal. And I would suspect that there are going to be big forces happening in cryptocurrency as a currency, Bitcoin as a currency, um, stable coins as currency, something that can be that can be sent back and forth. All the Ukraine is doing and all that the governments are doing is showing you that they can turn you off. They can turn off your bank account. They can turn off all your wealth. They can repossess. I don't know if you know this, and I don't have a dog in the yacht fight, right? But there's 300 really, really rich Russian guys. I don't know how they made their money. I know nothing about it, but they're seizing their properties and their homes, and I don't know if that was me, who's not a Russian millionaire with a yacht. I don't know what I'd do without my yacht. No, I don't know, right? And Canada trying to shut down people's bank accounts, companies' bank accounts. That really happened, didn't it? I mean, that's how I remember it. So people are flipping out and they're thinking, um, is cryptocurrency better in some way? And what do people mean when they say be your own bank? Now, the discussions have been out there, and a lot of the stuff in cryptocurrency is too good to be true. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that there's scams out there. There's just shit coins, exchanges that either get hacked, um, and this is why you own your keys. This is why it doesn't. Everybody knows what you've got. Don't get me wrong, but if you have the keys, then nobody can do anything unless you're leaving your wallet connected and signing malicious contracts. on odd websites that nobody's ever heard of on a project that's only been around a week. And I've done it. Lord knows I've done it. But I normally pull out when it's too good to be true. Um, where was I? Bitcoin, people are using it. People are using it right now. People are a surprising amount of Bitcoin is being purchased in Russian rubles and sent to the Ukrainian army. Like a lot of Bitcoin. Like if enough people send the Ukrainian army, let's just theoretically push this out. If enough people send Bitcoin to the Ukrainian army, and at the end of all this, Ukraine is still a nation on its own, they're going to have a lot of Bitcoin. I wonder if that would persuade them to maybe use it as an asset to lend against on the international market or something. You never know, right? That would really increase the adoption of Bitcoin. People are finding out that they can get access to their cryptocurrency a lot faster, a lot easier than in a bank run situation, right? Because I don't think Canada had a bank run per se, but the Russians sure as shit are. I mean, and who's to say that disruption in the system, no matter what it is, couldn't freeze all of your digital assets, so to speak, because that's all your cash is. Your cash is just a digital asset at this stage in the game. I don't carry cash. I use a debit card everywhere I go. I've had a $1 bill in my wallet for like the last 8 years. The same $1 bill in my wallet. I don't know why I keep it in there. I feel like I should, I don't know, put it in the bank and let it run free with all the other dollar bills. But yeah, so it's scary, right? And when you think about like an international prepaid credit card, Visa card, so to speak, um, you can have your digital assets traded into $100 in that currency to spend at that time, within minutes compared to regular banking. But I think the power of being able to send, and this is not getting reported, but it's happening, and I wonder why it's not getting reported more. But there are people sending Ukrainians uh, Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're buying it, they're sending it to their relatives and family that are trying to get out. And they're saying, hey, here, all you got to do is go to one of the ATMs and trade it in for cash, and boom, you're done. You've got cash in whatever country you land in, because they don't know if they're going to be in Poland, they don't know if they're going to be in Czechoslovakia, they don't know if they're going to be in France, Belgium, Germany, or the UK. We don't know if this is going to be a year or 10 years. So what do you do at that point is the question, right? Where do you put your assets and where are your assets safe? So that's just one aspect, well, two, I think, so far that it's a reason why Bitcoin is working out, I should say, right? It's doing what it's supposed to do. Ethereum is doing what it's supposed to do. It's letting individuals send the money where they want their money to go without somebody telling them that they can't use their money, which is scary. It's scary to think that, it's when the ATMs disappear. You'll notice it. That's when that's when you need that's when either it's too late or the tide has to turn is when the ATMs disappear. And they're disappearing in bad neighborhoods already. So we'll have to see. The other thing is if you're looking at I mean, I'm sure you could find a lot of YouTubers that are saying, oh, Bitcoin is digital gold, blah, blah, blah. And that may be true. Um, I'm not a gold bug. I don't have any gold. I don't have any silver. Um, yeah. So I'll probably die in the apocalypse, but I don't know. Food and bullets is going to be more important than gold and silver for crying out loud in the emergency. I don't know. You've heard the argument. Which is easier to carry a bar of gold or Bitcoin? Which costs less? Which one gets there faster, right? To transport. So that's all very true. So Bitcoin is proving itself. The other thing is that if you take a look at the current markets, they are they're going crazy. And I mean, these guys were kind of ecstatic not too long ago. Um, but the dollar's having problems. All currencies are having problems right now. The dollar's having problems, and now apparently the stock market may start having some problems. And I don't know if this is I don't know if this is some kind of a cycle or not. But BTC has always historically outperformed the market, if that makes sense. And right now is especially true. Right now is crazy true about Bitcoin. So people are seeing that as a place to keep their money, to keep whatever, to invest for the long term, not something to just buy $1,000 and send to their relatives in the Ukraine or, God, what a messed up situation. But that's the big thing is that it's outperforming almost everything. So its utility has already been proven in the field. The government regulations, the up and down, I guarantee you when they all these people that are trying to regulate BTC, they're going to buy BTC at the lowest that they can and they're going to I mean, they're going to use it and hold on to it and never sell it and use it for to gain passive income and make more money. That's what they do in the government. So those are all some pretty serious reasons why 2017, this drop, this 80% drop, and I mean, draw that out again, what an 80% drop would look like, right? Which is $13,000 Bitcoin. If it gets to $13,000, I'm selling everything but the dogs. Everything. Like, I'll have to do this without a web camera anymore because I'm going to have to sell that for 20 bucks. But yeah, everything but the dogs. Um, yeah, if BTC goes down to 13, holy cow, sell everything. Um, but that might not happen, right? The lowest we might see is 30,000. And it's even possible right now that the bottom is quote in, which is a scary thought. It's a scary thought for me. I don't know if I believe that. I believe on the monthly chart. I do. But if we hold this channel, I mean, we go 30 days out, we go 60 days out, and it becomes very believable that we could be seeing our dip right here. It's very possible. So I wouldn't be selling. I don't know if I would be buying. I wouldn't be buying right now, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on my lines here. I'd like to see it go up that high. What is that percentage? How much of that percentage am I waiting here? That's 16%. Let's look at BTC here. Let's get rid of this nonsense. Now I've talked myself into being optimistic again. I started the video and I was like, oh man, it's going down. Fucking start bailing water. Start, get ready to sell your possessions. Buy more Bitcoin, right? But damn, I may never get to see my 325 price. And that would, I don't know why that would make me sad. That would make me sad though. But I have to consider every time it bounces on this 50 on the daily, is this the time that it's going to break that? Because we've got, like I said, one, two, three, four, 5 times that we have not been able to break at 50 on the daily, but it may come up in 30 to 60 days, which doesn't sound very soon, but that is considering I've I've been waiting for something that might look like a bottom, to be honest with you, on BTC. I can tell you that I sent a Facebook message to a guy that I'm in a stock group with, and I told him probably back here in February, yep, probably February, that I was thinking 64K was Bitcoin's high. That was what my TA was telling me, that once it hits that 64, boom, it's done. And I played it too. I sold and I bought here and I sold here, and yeah, I played that, but but then it went back up and I was like, let's hodl for a while. And now here we are. So if we pretend this is some sideways action, that's 80 days, 69, 80 days. So if we play this as some sideways action, right now we're at about 60 days. So yeah, boy oh boy. If the sideways continues in this channel, I will be shocked. Don't get me wrong. I will totally be shocked. This doesn't look sideways, but because I want it to be sideways, I desperately want it to be sideways. That's as sideways as I'm going to get it right now. But you get the idea. That's that's what I'm seeing. So can we trade inside of here? And yeah, the answer is yes. We definitely can trade inside of here. As a matter of fact, this, for someone who wants to actively trade a lot, this becomes something very doable, actually. We're right here. Yeah, you want to see something like this one and this long two, because then you know you're going to bounce above, or you're going to hope that you're going to bounce above. And on this, I always look back at these TD sequentials and I always say, boy, why don't I take more bets on them? And I probably should because this one would have been a good one. You would have been in it for a couple days, but your real sell signal, well, gee, you kind of have one here, but that's not a real sell signal, and you would still be at your stop. But up here is your real sell signal, this one and this indecision doji and the two, the red one and two here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull that in. This is the kind of dumb stuff that I'm looking for, right? We got it fell apart here, right? At this indecision doji, even our MACD is starting to point downwards, and then this two is the sign to get out, right? And then boom, it comes all the way down here. You get a weak buy signal here, but so you might buy in here, and this might not be a bad buy actually, because you never know. If you took this for some crazy reason on the 4 hour, oh yeah, you're getting out. I would never take, yeah, that's 2%. I don't really have that, which is 5.9%. Ooh, shucks. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm taking this line and I'm going at my last low, which I'm thinking is right here, and I'll be damned if I wouldn't still be in this trade. All right, so I didn't take that trade. Don't take the trade. If you take the trade, you're gonna get wrecked because just the sheer fact that I did that means that I'm probably wrong. Um, and also ETH on the 4 hour does not look like a channel at all. Neither does the day. BNB does, BTC does, but ETH doesn't. So ETH, so when I see this, so you might look, I should explain this because it's counterintuitive. When I see two coins doing the same thing in this axis of evil that I'm working with here, BTC, ETH, and BNB, right? As what I see as the three strongest coins, the ones that are going to be around the longest, right? Um, when I see a divergence, it's not the two that are similar that I should be really watching a lot of the time. It's the individual. The other two are just kind of do 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 do, and the other one's going, okay, I'm going to get ready to move. And when it gets ready to move, everything else follows it. Sometimes it looks like it's ETH, sometimes it looks like it's BTC, sometimes it looks like it's BNB that's going to move first, right? And then a lot of times sometimes there are things that are just blatantly telling you not to buy and wait. And I would rather err on the side of caution than take too long. Or I'd rather err on the side of caution than lose money, basically. I can't lose money. I can't afford to lose money. You can't afford to lose money. Don't lose money. Set your stop limits. Go watch a video on stop limits, right? If you haven't, even if you have, I might go watch a video on stop limits because thinking I'm about to jump in here. I mean, BNB, if I get another, if it does like bounce off this line and then come up and crosses this green halfway through this channel, I'm in. And even on the 4 hour, I might get a buy signal, a real buy signal before that, right? This was a buy signal. Well, no, not really. It's hard to tell on this one, but let's say you took this here. Right about there is where I would be setting the stop, and that's good. That's 3%. That I'm just putting it on this red line. It's about 3%. It's between 3 and 5%. Down here is 5.4%. Down here is 3%. Any lower, and it's just a really tight stop loss. And I wouldn't do that on a 4 hour. That's really something you want to play with more on the 1 hour or even the 30 minute. Watch your fees if you're going to do that. But yeah, so 3, I'd be in this trade still. I'll leave that there as a paper trade. Um, just to kind of see, make myself feel bad if it goes up really bad, if it goes up really high, make myself feel good if it goes down and bounces off of this line. But let's just take this and just move that all the way to the end. I'm never going to be happy with that, but yeah. So it's possible we could see a turnaround on BNB in this channel. We could see this pop above here, which would be nice. And kind of the same thing with BTC as BNB, right? We got a lot of indecision here. We're in the middle. So unless we get a clear buy signal on the 4 hour, there's no point in diving in. BNB, you can get away with a 1 hour. Go take a 1 hour signal. And really, your 1 hour signal there isn't much better. You're still looking at here, it would trick you into the 5% though, or much less, which you would still be in. So what would that be on the 1 hour, right? So we're going to tighten it up on the 1 hour so that we get out of it faster. And this might still be a fair trade, right? I mean, it could start in the next 4 hours trading above the 200 TEMA, the red line. I wouldn't count on it. And now that and since I'm not in this trade, I'm not getting into this trade because if it's going down, you're trying to catch knives. You're going to get bloody hands, right? We always want to watch a dip happen, right? Like here we got red candle, green candle, then a one candle telling us, "Oh, hey, we got a dip." That one candle is, if it's followed by a two, that's telling you that's a dip. That's how you easily see if there's a possible dip coming up. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but it's a bet, right? That's why we set stop limits because we're going to bet 2% that we're going to get at least, let's see, for 2%, we're going to get at least 3.28%. So we won't lose money, right, on our trades. And that's the idea, is not to lose money. Don't buy and then walk away. Please learn how to maintain a wallet, right? All right, that's it. Long rant, lots of stuff. Gonna leave some stuff on here for next time. And yeah, I don't see things really picking up. It would be nice if they did, and the conditions are right for it to go up in my mind. There's so much money in Bitcoin right now. People are holding it. When people hold Bitcoin, it becomes a reliable way for other people to use it, right? If everybody bought and sold their Bitcoin as fast as they could, it'd be worth nothing. But people hold on to it. That gives it value. That gives it a pool of liquidity on a global sense, right? And it's all decentralized. So if you can get your access to a VPN, you can get to it from anywhere in the world, right? And if you can get to anywhere in the world with a VPN, you can use it. That's another thing too. People are fleeing. Government's mishandling. They don't know what they're doing. They're starting, they just, oh my God. All right. Have a great day. Um, it's Tuesday, so we got a long week ahead of us to see what happens. Like I said, though, I think I would like $330 BNB. All right.